Hey guys, how are you? It's me, Robin Link, and I am here again with your energy forecast for next week, August. August, great. Shows you where I am. November 18th to November 25th. So, first of all, I just wanted to stop and ask you guys how you're doing. I know we just went through a really difficult week with what went on in Paris and it's not only Paris. I'm sorry, I know I'm moving around. I'm in a different room and I'm just trying to figure out where I can sit so that you guys can see me and so that I can hold the camera, okay, or the phone. Okay. Yeah, so it was really a tough week for most of us. Um, a lot of hopelessness and fear and helplessness um, is going on. And, the best I can say at this moment is we've just got to have faith in humanity that the the power of the many will overcome the fear that the few are instilling in us. And I personally, and maybe this is naive, but personally, I feel like enough people who have the resources and the knowledge to change things are going to come together and help to change this. Something different needs to be done. Different choices need to be made. And what we're doing currently isn't working. And it requires action. Prayer alone isn't going to do it. These are physical actions, and they need to be met with physical actions. I have no clue what that is, and I'm not even going to pretend to. Instead, I'm going to go do and do what I do best, and let's pull some cards. So, the first card we have is the Angel of Nature. Okay, and this is talking to us about nature on a whole bunch of different levels, okay? And this is kind of the overarching theme of the next week. So, nature, we're talking about actually getting outside and connecting, okay, with the trees, with the animals, with the getting our feet in the grass, even if it's cold out. And if you can't, if it's too cold to put your feet in the grass, touch the grass. Put your hands in the grass, something. Touch a tree, hug a tree. There really, that's just not a hippie, new agey, mumbo jumbo-y thing, hugging a tree. It really does help you to ground. And I got to tell you, it reminds you of what's real. All right, this is the stuff that was created before we were here, before humans were here. Things like, trees and grass and flowers and leaves and plants and the sun and just all of that. And that is really what is real. That is what is true. And that is what helps you to get back and connect with your true nature, which is the other meaning of this card. All right? It's about taking time daily and connecting with your true nature. I'm not talking about your personality in this particular situation. Although your personality is a part of it, our personalities are a part of who we are as a physical manifestation of our souls this time around. But our true nature is divinity. Our true nature is where the actual perfection that we keep striving to achieve lies. So this week I would ask you to, or I would suggest that daily you ask yourself questions for every action and reaction that you take this week. Am I operating from my true nature in this moment? So when you go into fear and anger and all that kind of stuff, well, maybe you actually are reacting from your true nature in that moment. But it's about getting conscious. Am I doing that? Am I acting from my true nature in this moment? And if you are, awesome. And if you're not, awesome. You have the option to choose differently, whether you're operating from your true nature or not, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the next card, I'm not surprised. It's the Angel of Protection. All right, so protection is generally, from my vantage point, about shining your light so brightly that we'll call them dark forces, okay, can't get in, that they can't penetrate. Sometimes it also requires creating some sort of a force field around you as well, but the light naturally creates that force field. That's the thing that you've got to understand. When you are operating from your true nature, then the negative energies that are around, the dark energies that are around, it makes it pretty much impossible for them to break through your barriers. Because, and let me rephrase that. When you're operating from your true nature, you don't even have barriers. But you are shining so brightly that you don't need the barriers. They're not required. Because they're acting as a force field on their own. They're out of resonance with the lower vibrating, the negative, the dark, and whatever other phrase you want to give to that, okay? But the other thing that you have to be aware of as far as protection is protecting yourself, from your self-defeating thoughts, from your negative language about yourself, from your unloving, let me say it that way, from your unloving language about yourself. And, okay, this doesn't mean that you can't turn around and say, oh, this isn't working in my life, or maybe I could have behaved better there, or I wasn't acting or reacting from my true nature, so I know I could have done better. It's, that's fine. Admit. Admit where you're out of sync with your divine self, with your true nature. Cool. Don't judge it. That's the sort of thoughts that we need to protect ourselves from about ourselves. The self-judgment, the self-recrimination. Just, okay, this is where I am in my life right now. This is the best that my human self can be in this moment. it was just the best I can do in that moment. Move on. Move on, which brings us to the next card, which is the angel of letting go. Okay? So, what do we have here? We're talking about getting back to nature and our true nature, followed by protection, which is following, shining our light by being ourselves. Just being ourselves. That's how you shine the light. You're yourself. And you let go of all the other crap, all the judgments, all the bad things you say about yourself. Your fears start to naturally fade away. That's the really cool thing. And all the stuff you're trying to get rid of because you don't like it about yourself, it starts to fall away because most of it was created from some judgment, from some area of your life where you haven't been loved. See, here's the thing you gotta understand. In general, okay, this is just in general. We operate from our wounds. And we really want to operate from love, but the place we fall back to is operating from our wounds. Even when we're operating from love, we're operating from love as we know it, as it's filtered through our wounds. Okay? That's really important to get. It's really important to know. It's how you can start having compassion for yourself and treating yourself well. And it's also how you can start having compassion for the people who are acting in unloving and unkind ways. That does not mean that you forgive those actions, but it does make it easier for you to have compassion for the wounded being underneath. I hope that makes sense to you. I asked for one more card this week, and I got the Angel of Communication. And I love that card because I feel like communication is so important. Clear, non-judgmental, concise communication is so important when it comes to living life in general. It's our interaction with each other. The thing is, if somebody says something to you and you take it the wrong way, there was a communication breakdown. Or maybe they said it not using the best terminology, and so the meaning got lost. So stop when somebody says something to you and you get insulted or you get hurt. Stop and ask them what the actual intention was of that sentence. Or say, I heard you say blah, blah, blah. Did you mean this? Or did you mean this? Right? And let them say it, because at least, look, if they're going to be assholes, they're going to be assholes, right? If they meant it in that hurtful way, cool, you got information about that person. Probably, maybe not somebody you need in your life. But if they didn't mean it that way, they may not have realized it came out that way. And now you're giving them the opportunity to rephrase and to clarify what their actual intention was. Cool? All right. I thought I had one other thing I wanted to say about that, but I really, it seems to have flown my mind. So this week, get out in nature and get back to your true nature. Allow yourself to be yourself, warts and all, right? Because when you're that, your light shines. When your light shines, these dark and negative energies can't get to you. Now, I hate to even say this, but I'm going to. There's a difference between other people's actions and negative energies and dark energies. You know, these people who are getting hurt and harmed all over the world, not just in Paris, it's not happening to them because their energy fields aren't clear. Okay? Clearing your energy field keeps you safe from the etheric yuckies. In the physical world, there's gonna be people who do bad things. And no matter how high, no matter how beautifully light your energy field is, we still have to remember that there are humans who are operating from such deep, wounding, false teachings and unloving spaces. Prayers can't always save us from that. And high vibrating energies can't always save us from that. So we have to remember that protection also includes being aware of where you are physically. You know, the college student who gets raped on her way home from a dorm party. That's not happening because her vibration isn't high enough. It's happening because she's walking home alone in the dark, and some people just don't do good things. One of my favorite people in the world is the Dalai Lama. And I feel like he really, you know, if you talk about somebody who operates from a high vibration, it's an amazingly beautiful high vibration. He's got bodyguards. Right? The guy has got bodyguards. You gotta remember, you are an infinite being. You do have a human body. The infinite being can never be harmed. The human body, it's got limitations. So do what you can to let go of the negative self-talk. Do what you can to let go of the habits and the behaviors that cause you to feel like you're less than, so you can connect to that divinity and make living in this human body easier. And so that living in a world where not everything is unicorn poop and puppy dog kisses is just a little bit easier. And be clear in your communication. Communicate with the higher powers. Communicate with your higher self. Communicate with your inner child. Communicate with other human beings. Communication is a form of connection, and it helps you to feel like you're not so alone when things are not going so great. And with that, I just want to remind you that I am the creator, or creatrix, I love that word, of Spiritual Perfectionist Anonymous. It's a Facebook group. We're just getting started, just like my Periscope is still just getting started. And this is where we go to remember that we are human, and in our humanness, we're not perfect. While learning how to connect with the perfection of our divinity. And it's where we go to learn how to teach those two sides of ourselves to play together. And it's a judgment-free zone. And the people who are in there, I'm just getting such phenomenal feedback about how much they're getting from that group. And how much it's helping to make it easier for them to live in this crazy world. So thank you all for watching this scope, and subscribe if you haven't already. Share if you feel led, and come check us out in Facebook. It's a closed group, so you can search us. It's, like I said, Spiritual Perfectionists, S at the end, Anonymous, and it's a closed group, so you'll be able to search us and find us. You can see the members. However, the posts are private unless you actually join the group. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thanks for listening to me, sending you so much love, so many blessings, and stop trying to be perfect, because you already are. Bye.